This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Through the night, deep in the heart of Texas, the trailer park is nice and dark. Deep in the heart of Texas, that drinks his brew and he spits his chew. Deep in the heart of Texas, the TV blares but no one cares. Deep in the heart of Texas, here we go.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Blah, King of the Hill podcast. I am Mike, and this is...
I'm Rusty.
You got it. Yeah. Hey, we missed a week, but it was for good reason. I took a trip to Seattle. That was fun. I got to see my daughter. I got to do a lot of cool stuff there.
Oh, that is fun.
Shout out to my daughter who runs all the events for the Seattle Art Museum.
Wow.
Said that her department did $3 million last year. Crazy.
Wow.
24 years old. She is, I am super proud of that girl. Yeah, she's something else. Okay. We are at season 4, episode 5, Aisle 8A.
Aisle 8A, yeah, this is a funny one.
You know, I didn't remember this one.
Yeah, it's like a Connie, well, there's not very many of them, but this is one of the Connie-centric episodes where it's all about Connie.
For some reason,
subject.
Yeah, for some reason, I just did not remember this one. I watched it again this morning. And I don't know, for some reason, it just wasn't hitting those triggers for me. You know, a lot of those things I remember from having watched them 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I don't know what it was on this one. It's a great episode, though. Very touching.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Handled very well, honestly. Could have been a lot grosser or a lot weirder.
It could have been a lot grosser,
you know?
but I think, Hank is who Hank is, so it's not going to get any more uncomfortable than Hank's going to want to be.
It's kind of cool that Hank reacts the way he does. There's one moment in this episode that I really, really enjoy. Hey, just real quick, I want you guys to know in the month of July, so what is that? 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever it is. We will be starting our Patreon.
Okay.
The network is moving to a big old building here in town that everybody seems to be excited about.
I'm pretty excited about it. It seems like a place where a lot of creative things are going to go down.
It'll be cool.
I feel like we're going to be able to start getting into this a little bit more than we have been because it's been an evolution. We started over there.
Yeah.
We moved over here. Now you've got video.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're over here. And then the next, it's just like an evolution.
Next one will be a really nice set.
Because the next studio that we have or whatever is in a lower building, right? Like the video studio or whatever.
Yeah, video studio would be there, but we'll be doing some video upstairs also.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But me and you will be able to do, and like we'll have a couple of maybe some stuff for some Patreon stuff.
My thing is
just something comfortable, intimate. Me and you sitting at like a chairs or something.
Well, I don't want to sound like a dick or anything, but I mean, if I get to run the network, I get to shoot it wherever the hell I want. So
for sure.
We'll probably be shooting upstairs at the big Alico building.
There you go.
Yeah, pretty nice stuff.
Anywhere we want. The big guy said it himself. 21st floor.
That's all I'm saying, man. I mean, I've worked really hard to get there, so we get to do whatever we want.
Again, we're going to sip cognac on the 21st floor, big cigars with his feet on the desk.
That's right. Okay.
That's as high as you could get, really.
And there's 22 floors.
Yeah.
There's 22 floors.
You're not beating off we're
not beating off anybody.
We're not beating off anybody. But you're not going to knock the people who are on the 22nd floor out of their spot. They're legacy.
They're big, high-profile lawyers.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess with them.
Millions of dollars.
The funny thing about that building, though, is I don't know if I've said this on here or not. I know I've said it several times, but the way that building is, and we're talking about the Alico building. People that are not in Waco have no idea. It is the only building that survived
American Life Insurance Company.
Yeah, it's the only building that survived the big tornado in the 50s. It is.
It's kind of old too. I think it was built in like 1911 or something like that.
It was built a long time ago. I worked in it one time before, and it's only because. Pause. Hey, there's no trains at the Alico building.
There's no. You might get a bird hit the window, but
Right.
other than that, you're good to go.
All right, so sometimes we have to pause for a train. No, I worked in that building one time, and it was because that's where fiber came into the city, and I was running a internet service provider at the time, and so we had to be there for the speeds and stuff, you know.
Oh, that's the first fiber line?
Yeah, it was there and out at
T1
TSTC.
line or
Those were
whatever?
the two.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
those are the two
okay.
places that fiber came in. All right, so we are
And that's still
starting.
the only two places you can get it in town.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, we will have it there, so I'm
Yeah,
excited
that's
about
good.
that.
Our internet will be
Our internet speeds
should
are
be insane
gonna
over there, huh?
quadruple.
yeah.
Yeah, for about the same price, which is amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
All right, so we start this one off in Arlen, in the alley, looking at you got Dale and Bill and Boomhauer and everybody out there looking at a trash can, which is pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, riveting.
So, Dale says, look at her, the Rubber Mason 170L, sure grip handles, multi-terrain tires, 50-gallon capacity. And then the other ones, Hank just kind of mutters a little bit. Dale says, gentlemen, this trash can is indestructible. You can tip it. You can run it over with your truck. You can drop it from the moon, and provided it made it through the atmosphere, it hit the ground ready to accept your refuse.
I just, the enthusiasm behind a trash can is what is insane to me. I've never seen somebody be so enthusiastic for trash.
I treat my trash cans pretty poorly.
Mine actually have treated me poorly as I've treated them. I've actually broke 2 mirrors in 2 separate cars because of the trash can being too far up in the driveway.
Yeah.
And it's early morning, and I was
Yeah.
like leaving to go to work, and I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
And it clipped my mirror, so I broke 2 mirrors in 2 separate cars.
My trash cans that are provided by the city I live in, I use them as things to spray paint on. So, like, I'll roll them out into the yard and put my stuff on it, you know, and then just spray paint. Yeah, so they've got, they're multicolored at this point. Yesterday, I took the trash out, and I had to put Kleenexes up my nose because I threw away a dead rabbit there a couple of days ago. And you forget about it until you open the lid, you know?
Yeah.
Dogs caught a rabbit, and I couldn't see it just sit out there or whatever. And so, boy, did that thing smell. It was pretty rough. It's been 100 degrees here, so
I was
that
about to
rabbit.
ask you why you had dead rabbits.
Yeah, that rabbit was cooking. It was half a rabbit. Anyway, so Bill says, ooh, how many beer cans do you think she can hold? 1,000? Dale says she can hold 1,000 beer cans when she's half full with 1,000 beer cans. I don't know why that's the way that they're measuring it. Con walks up and he says, hey, I see you get a new deep fryer. Hank says, well, actually, Con, it's an injection molded. He goes, joking. You hillbillies chew on that while I'm jetting off to Hawaii for biggest computer convention there is, Systems Expo Maui in Hawaii. He has to say Hawaii twice, to make sure that they know he's going to Hawaii.
At, yeah.
Boomhauer pipes up and says, dang old Hawaii, man, dang old grass skirts, man, dow, yeah, man. Con comes up and says, that's not even the best part. My boss wants me to give big-time speech. I get 5 whole minutes. Peons get only 3. You ever make a 5-minute speech, Hank? Hank starts to respond, and Con just busts in and goes, no, only 3. Now we're in Con's house. Min is on the phone, and she says, babysitter violate parole? Yeah, I'd say that's an issue. Con, we have no nanny for Connie. So they're trying to find a place for Connie to stay while they're in Hawaii. I don't know why they couldn't take Connie, but I mean, because when it comes down to it, it seems like this whole thing, bless you, seems like this whole thing takes place in like 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah, real
something
fast.
Like
It's very short. I don't know how they got to Maui and back in that short amount of time, and Ann had time to do anything while they were there. That shows how broke Con is. If he has to go to Maui, he's only able to get off the plane, go do what he's got to do,
like 2
maybe
days.
stay one night and come back.
Yeah. It's 2 days. Well, actually, it's a day and a half.
Spend more time traveling than actually being there.
Con is sitting at the table with his laptop, and he goes, oh, cruel fate. This Maui speech could be my stepping stone from systems analyst to senior systems analyst. Boy, what a...
I don't even know what that means.
He says, Connie's old enough to stay by herself, right? Min says, no, Con, maybe Connie can stay with one of the neighbors. Oh, but which evil is lesser? And she's looking out the window kind of thinking, and she sees all 3 of the guys trying to get into the trash can. All 3 of them trying to fit in the trash can at the same time while Hank just sits there and watches them drinking a beer.
Yeah. The most sensible one would be definitely Hank. If I was going to leave my children with any...
But
body
still,
that had to be
Hank is just standing there watching them. You know, it's not like he's broken it up or anything.
No, it's entertainment for him.
It is.
Like, he's
It's
had a
entertainment.
lifelong entertainment with those three. I'm sure it's
That's
like
right.
watching the Three Stooges 24/7.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're in Hank's living room. Con and Min are all decked out for the vacation, which is they're already dressed like they're on the beach.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And Con is holding a lighter up to the smoke detector to test it, and you hear it go off. And Hank says, smoke detectors work, Con. The toilet seats are clamped down, and I put on new non-slip daisies in each of the tubs. So, aloha. In the room there, in the living room, we've got Connie, Peggy, Hank, Con, Min, and they're all in there. And Con hands, or they hand this giant binder to Hank and Peggy, and it says, here's Connie's babysitting book, version 4 with seafood allergy upgrade. Min says, everything you need to know is in here. It teach you how to be a parent this week, what time Connie should eat, acceptable reading material. Hank is flipping through the book,
Yeah.
and I've got a little note here. I wanted to read what he shows. There's a reading level progression chart, and then a reading level 2 pages read trimester comparison. I mean, that's a whole there's a whole chart thing going on there.
Is that what that is? The book that's
That's later. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts? Yeah, look at that.
There you go. That's the book that we're talking about. Look at that quality. Look at that expensive ink.
Yeah, it's true.
That's high quality inking right there.
That's right. Okay, so she's telling them, everything is in there, including acceptable reading material. And Hank's flipping through, and he goes, Newsweek, not in this house. I guess.
Yeah, not in this house.
Too political.
Too political.
Peggy, being shitty Peggy, says, oh, how very nice. She included recipes. Oh, look, in pictures. Well, that's good because I have no idea what scrambled eggs look like. She is the most passive-aggressive person.
She's terrible.
Oh, my Lord. You hear the horn honk, and Con says, oh, that's a limo to the airport. And then he reaches down and he's talking to Connie, and he hands her a big bottle of antibacterial gel. He says, this is antibacterial hand gel. Leave a thin protective film on you at all time. I'll see you next week. He's just so insulting.
Yeah, he is.
Now we're outside. Con and Min are in the taxi. They're in Ferb's taxi, which is a minivan. And Joseph and Bobby are out on the front yard. Joseph they're both kind of sitting on the grass, just watching everything go by. And Joseph says, I can't believe, I need to come up with a Joseph voice.
A Joseph.
I can't believe you're, it's awful. I can't believe. His
voice is tough. I don't know his voice, because his voice actors changed. His voice changes. He's the only person.
Well, he goes through puberty.
Well, he's the only kid in primetime television that ever actually on
Went through puberty?
Animated primetime television. He's the only one that ever
Really?
changes age.
Wow.
You got to think how many primetime.
That's true.
Kids,
I guess he
Bart
does.
never changes age.
I guess he does grow up when everybody else stays the same.
Yeah, Stan from American Dad never changed age.
Yeah.
Meg and
Yeah.
Chris never changed age. So
Wow.
I don't know. It's
But he's talking to Bobby, and he says, I can't believe your girlfriend is going to be living with you. My parents won't even let me go in a chat room, which I find hard to believe with Dale. Because I think Dale probably lives in chat rooms.
Yeah, but that's probably why he keeps his
Yeah,
son
probably
out of it.
so. Well, he may not
probably knows the debauchery that's going on in chat rooms in 1998.
He
He's
may
like,
not. He may not want Joseph to see him
You remember?
in the chat room.
You remember how wild the internet was before?
Oh, yeah.
Before,
Oh.
like now, the unfettered internet.
Well, I mean, now it's still nuts, but back then, boy, you could do everything, anywhere, all out in the open.
Yeah, it was just
Nothing was locked down.
Well,
I mean,
anonymity was like guaranteed then too. Now it's not like your anonymity on the internet.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not as
true.
guaranteed. But back then, you could be completely anonymous because they didn't have all the technology and stuff to track people through their IPs and all that stuff at that time. I guess.
Very true. Very true. So he says, my parents won't even let me go in a chat room. Bobby says, I know. My dad said we could camp out in the living room in our sleeping bags.
Hell yeah.
He goes, in our sleeping bags, like it's so sexy. Joseph says, you're going to be seeing each other in nothing but your pajamas. Bobby's like, I never thought about it like that. And then the next thing we see is Bobby going through his drawers in his room. He's looking through some of his, he's trying to get rid of the kid stuff, right? He wants to be seen as kind of an adult to Connie. And so he's going through them. He pulls one out. It's got Thomas the Tank Engine on it. And he goes, choo-choo trains. Oh, man. And then he pulls another one out, and it's got one of the turtles on it.
Yeah. One of
I don't know
those
which one it
turtles.
is, though.
I can't remember what color
Red.
band it had. Red. Oh, red is Raphael.
Okay, well there you go.
They're gonna
Raphael.
kill me if I said it wrong. they're gonna get me.
I hope it was wrong. And he goes, "Oh, these may work."
Right.
And then he
That was who it
he
is.
pulls out another set, and it says "Mommy's Little Man" on it, and it's like a full length one zipper jump in footy PJ
Oh,
thing.
the footy
It's like a whole
PJs.
suit.
You talking about with like the open ass
Yes,
flannel?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. All he needed was a little candle on a
Kind of like
thing,
the,
you know,
what do
and
they call
a night
them?
hat.
What do they call them? Long johns.
Yeah, it is kind of long johns, but
Like a long
it's
john
it's
type
real
material.
fluffy, you know, like kids' PJs or whatever.
Yeah, like cotton, like
Mommy's
real
little
soft
man.
cotton. Mommy's little man.
There's another shirt for us. Okay, so
Hey, well, I've been told that I don't remember what shirt it was. I can't remember what we said, but somebody said that they would buy whatever those random. It was like
Oh,
a couple
sure.
episodes ago.
I can see
Somebody
us.
said they would buy them. I was like, all right, well, you know, might have to get a.
We
you
can
know,
get
that's
some
what
shirts going.
something, we need a merch store.
Yeah.
We're like the only podcast with 4
I got
seasons
you.
of podcasts. We
I
gotta
got
get
you.
a merch store.
We'll
for you
get
guys.
we'll
Yeah.
get the Patreon started and we'll start throwing merch in it.
And then, but what I think we should do with our merch though is do limited merch, so you can only get one shirt for
Sure.
for X amount of time before
Yeah.
that design. Like
I agree.
Like have a bunch of designs, but then have like just one design at a time that
Yeah.
they can buy.
Make
that's
100 of them
Yeah,
or whatever,
like a
and once they're
drop.
gone, they're gone.
like a drop kind
Yeah,
of thing.
that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Uh,
No scalpers, no scalping. No, I'm just kidding.
Next-
They're not
next-
scalping bois. I'm sure.
Next thing you see is Bobby going up to Boomhauer's house. He's pressing the doorbell, and this makes sense to me because Boomhauer is the ladies' man.
Yeah,
you know,
he
and
is.
so
He's the smooth operator.
Bobby's got to go get some advice from Mr. Ladies Man. He opens the door and Boomhauer is in nothing but a towel. Number one,
Yeah.
which tells you he's got a woman in there. You know, he said, "Man, what are you doing coming over like this, man?" Bobby says, "I need some advice. I don't know what to sleep in. You know, if there's a girl in the house." Boomhauer says, "Yeah, man, I tell you what, man, gang old girl in the house right now, man."
He's like, I got a girl in here right now. What are you doing in here?
What I love is the way that Bobby responds to it, which is just, and what should I wear?
What should I wear?
Nobody
Yeah.
ever responds to what Boomhauer is actually saying.
No, nobody
you know?
ever does. Well, it's because I guess nobody can understand him.
He goes, "And what should I wear?" He goes, "Well, you can't go wrong with silk, man. Can't handle flannel, get a dang old itchy bottom, man. She swears top, you wear the bottom. You know what I'm saying, man?" He goes, "Yeah, I was thinking about the Ninja Turtles with underwear." Like, it has nothing. Those two are so far apart. I tell you what, man, let me know, man. Dang old thing works out, man. First call, man. Then just shuts the door. Now we're at the hill.
He tells him, "I'm your first call.
I'm your first call."
Yeah, call me first. Tell me how it goes. Don't call nobody else."
Now we're at the hill dinner table. We got Hank, Peggy, Bobby, and Connie. We never see Luann in this episode.
Nah, well, there's a few episodes that are like that where you
Yeah.
don't see Luann.
Yeah. So they're all sitting around the dinner table. Bobby says,
You know, actually, sorry to interrupt you.
No,
but
you're
actually,
good.
I think around this time would be, and I think they kind of reference it in this this particular episode where they do the Chicka Chicka Slim Shady. This is
Oh,
around
yeah.
the time that Brittany Murphy might have been filming for
8 Mile.
8 Mile.
Oh, wow.
Because
Yeah.
8 Mile was around 99.
I guess that is about the
2000.
right time, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Well, because it was shortly after his big blew up success. They made it like right after his first or whatever album it was popped
Yeah.
off. It was like 2000, 2001, something like that. So it
8
was not far
Mile.
from around this time.
8 Mile is a very seminal movie for that time.
I
You know.
think it's a great movie. I like it. It's actually really good.
So-
I think that Eminem should have acted in more movies. Honestly, I think that he was not that bad. I know he was just playing himself.
Yeah.
Essentially, he was playing his own. It's easy to play yourself, but
Right,
I
sure.
still think he did. I still think he was all right.
So Bobby is trying to impress Connie. He's like, "I always put my napkin on my lap. Sit down, boom, on my lap."
Yeah.
She just kind of giggles. She goes, "This is a great dinner, Mrs. Hill." And Peggy says, "Well, we have your mother to thank for that. She recommended that I stir the macaroni with a spoon." And then she looks at Hank and goes, "No more burned hands, Hank." I mean, Jesus.
She was over there stirring up the macaroni with her damn hands. What the hell? She's a
so
friggin'
funny.
heathen, man.
Connie says, "And the steak tastes so clean." This is music to Hank's ears. Because he
That's
says,
the propane,
well,
Connie.
that's the propane, Connie. You see, it's much smoother than grill than charcoal, and at a fraction of the cost. Always selling. Hank is always selling. And then we kind of go later on to supper, and she goes, Connie says, "You know what I've always wondered? Propane is called liquid petroleum, but isn't it a gas, Mr. Hill?" He goes, "Please, Connie, Call me Hank. I mean, I just wrote down very pleased right there. So a little time passes by, and supper's still going on. They've kind of finished up now. They're all sitting around talking. And Connie's apparently telling a story, and she goes, and my dad just crawled out the window and never paid. And then Hank goes, oh, so this is gossip. And he just kind of sits back in the chair and relaxes. It's the first time I've seen Hank relax in a very long time.
Well, because somehow Con and men gossip back and forth. So,
sure.
So Con gets all the tea from men, but Hank doesn't gossip with Peggy.
Oh, no.
Not often.
Well, the only time he really...
Not often. They do a little bit of back and forth gossip sometimes, but for the majority of it, like I see Con and men sitting in bed at night talking to, like, their relationship seems better than Hank's and Peggy's. They seem like when they sit up at night, they're talking about all the drama of the day while Hank and Peggy, or Peggy's reading and Hank's watching TV. They're disconnected when they go to bed. I feel like men, and so they'll sit there and get all the gossip. So he has stuff to throw at Hank because he hears all the stuff about Hank that Peggy's telling men, but he never gets anything to throw at him. So now with this stuff, he's getting all this gossip and all this ammunition. So when they're outside doing the banner back and forth, he's got stuff to throw at him.
Hank says, so this is gossip. And he goes, oh, well, it's pretty good.
Yeah, he loves it, yeah.
It's pretty good. Connie says, if you're done, Mrs. Hill, I'll take your plate in with mine. She gets Peggy's plate. She takes her plate, and she goes into the kitchen. Peggy says, and she has manners, too.
There you go.
Bobby says, may I take those plates out of your way, sir? And can I tempt you with some toaster strudels? Or are we watching our figures? He's talking to Hank. Hank says, just take the plates, Bobby. Very good, sir. All right, next we see we're in the kitchen, and we see the backs of Connie and Bobby, and they're both washing dishes over the sink. Bobby says, this is nice. Just the two of us, squeak of the gloves, the lemony smell. Oh, there's still a big hunk of fat on this one. Hands it to her, and she goes, thanks. I'm glad you're here. We make a good team. He goes, well, let me hook you up with some more suds. I mean, it's just kind of nice because it's real playful and childish and stuff. Moment. Yeah, it's very nice.
It reminds, well, there's I guess this reminds me, only because it's in the kitchen doesn't remind me. There's a movie called Fried Green Tomatoes, and there's a book called Fried Green Tomatoes. It was after a book, of course, they made the movie. Well, in the book, there's two characters in the book that are lesbian lovers.
Right.
And in the book, it's made very, very evident that they're lesbian lovers. But in the movie, they had to tone it. For the era, they had to make it fit to the era. So there's a scene where the two female protagonists in the movie are in a kitchen, and they're doing all this like play fighting with food and throwing food at each other and smearing it all over each other and stuff like that. And actually in the book, that
it's just
scene
suggested.
That scene actually in the book is like the precursor to them having sex. Like they have sex in the book, but they don't there. So I don't think that's what this is. It's like one of those ghost moments where he's got his hands around her.
That's right.
It's
doing
one of those
the Klay.
moments. You know what I mean? It's a very intimate. I know they're young. I don't like talking about young people like that, but it's a very intimate moment for them. Well, especially as like at their age too. Yeah. It's like a tender moment for them. You know what I mean? It's
a very tender moment. That's a great way to describe it.
It's like life-changing stuff. You know what I mean? It's like his first.
Well, it's just such good memories. Just like when you think back.
No, well, you got to think also. There's no like life situation where a girl is going to be at your house that you're interested in, and your parents are okay with her being there, and they're letting y'all sleep in the living room together. You know, that kind of thing is just. Yeah.
Well, it's because they still think of them as little kids, and that's I get it. I get it. So now we transition. They're in the living room where they're going to be sleeping in their sleeping bags, and they're doing shadow puppets by a candle in the living room, which
they are children,
which is super cool.
They're children. For sure.
And Bobby's doing his little dog, and he goes, "My name is," and Connie's, "What? My name is who? My name is Slicka Sticka Slim Shady Extended Club Mix." He says Extended Club Mix. He goes, break it down. DJ. Everybody is wicka wicka whack. Hank and Peggy come walking in, and Hank says, all right, kids, lights out. And Connie says, good night, Mr. and Mrs. Hill. And then both of them get into their sleeping bags right next to each other. Bobby says, it's pretty dark. Are you scared? Connie says, it's not that dark in here. But sure, I could be a little scared. And she kind of scoots over to him, a little closer. Which is
I could be a little scared.
Very cute.
That is cute, yeah.
Bobby says, I could get my nightlight. She goes, no, that's okay, Bobby. And then she just rolls over and says goodnight. And Bobby very confused with wide eyes, goes, I guess I'm tired too. And then I guess they go to sleep. You know? He's a little shaken by this because he doesn't know. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, he doesn't know what to do or expect.
He has no idea. Next day, we're at Tom Landry Middle School. I did make a note here that the letters are still up on the building. So the ones that Hank welded back up there, they're still there.
It's still there. Yeah, I got you.
You hear the bell ring, and Joseph and Bobby are at the lockers, and Joseph says, "So, are your lips numb?" Bobby says, "Gentleman does not kiss and tell." He goes, "You chickened out." He says, Yes, sir, I did.
Yeah.
Joseph says, "Now she's going to think you don't like her." He goes, "Yeah, no, don't worry. I'm busting a move tonight. Busting a move." That night, we're at dinner at the Hill House. Bobby's just like, I'm so tired. His mouth is still full of food. He's just trying to get through this thing so fast, you know. He goes, "I better hurry up and get to bed before I fall asleep right here at the table." Connie says, "How many cows do you people eat in a year?" So her attitude is completely changed. Like she was so sweet, and now she's just fed up with everybody. You know,
like she's might even be premenopausal here.
Yeah, she's not menopausal, but
did I say menopausal?
Yeah.
What's the other one?
She's not 60.
What's the other one called?
It's PMS, right? So I guess it is menopausal, huh? Yeah. This is how much we know. So
right.
I think it might be. So he's like, better hurry up and get. She goes, "How many cows do you people eat in a year?" And Hank says, "Wait, we figured this out once, like it's a fun game, play at the table."
That's gambling, yeah.
She says, "Can I please be excused?" He goes, "Well, sure." And Bobby takes one more bite and goes, "Me too, please." And so he takes off. Bobby, the next thing we see is Bobby is in his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles PJs again, and he's over there spraying cologne on himself. And he brings out a couple of slices of cake to Connie there in the living room where they sleep in the sleeping bags. He goes, "You rushed off before dessert, and I took the liberty of snagging us each piece of bundt cake." She goes, "I just brushed my teeth." He goes, "Oh, so did I." She goes, "If you just brush your teeth, then why are you going to eat bundt cake? You're just going to have to brush your teeth again. Why don't you ever think?" I mean, she is fed up.
She's pissed.
Bobby's just like, he doesn't know what to do.
She's bloated and cramping.
Next morning at breakfast, Bobby says, "Connie, do you like your syrup warm or cold? Personally, I could go either way." Connie says, "Can you bother someone else for 5 minutes so I can go to the bathroom?" And she just gets up and goes to the bathroom, and Bobby's just like, "Yes." Now we're in the hall. Connie is obviously in the bathroom still. Peggy comes to the door and says, "Connie, honey, it's past 8 already." And you just hear her from behind the bathroom door just, She goes, "I don't know what she's doing in there for so long." And Bobby says, "I think she's taking a Bobby break." Because, of course, he thinks it's all about him.
Yeah, it's always about him.
Peggy says, "Hank, you're going to have to take Connie to school. Bobby and I are late already, and there are no substitute teachers for substitute teachers who are late." Hank just kind of groans, but he stays. You see time kind of transition a little bit, so it's a few minutes later.
A little later.
Hank's still outside waiting for her. Connie finally comes out of the bathroom and says, "Is Mrs. Hill home?" Hank says, "No, she already left for school already." Connie's like, she doesn't know how to tell him, and
Hank it's uncomfortable enough to tell somebody a situation like that, but it's also got to be really uncomfortable to tell your neighbor who's not even a parent.
Kidding. Yeah.
And not only that, your neighbor is a stuck-up prude.
So she's just like fumbling around. Finally, she pulls out a little notepad and writes a note to it, hands it to Hank, and he goes, "Mr. Hill, I just got my first period." Bah! And that's the commercial break right there. So we're going to go ahead and take one, and we will be right back. Let me tell you, Rusty, eating healthy used to be a struggle for me, but that was before I discovered the BlendJet 2 portable blender.
The BlendJet 2.
Now when fast food temptation strikes, I just blend up a delicious and nutritious protein shaker smoothie. They gave us a whole bunch of those little packages that came with the blender.
Yeah.
And there's some really good flavors in there. I mean, there's some like that matcha thing.
The green matcha?
Yeah, those are pretty damn good. BlendJet 2 is portable, so you can blend up smoothies at work, a protein shake at the gym, or even a margarita on the beach. It's small enough to fit in a cup holder, but powerful enough to blast through ingredients like ice and frozen fruit with ease. Maybe a human thumb. Don't put your thumb in it. BlendJet 2 is whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothie without waking up the whole house. Lasts for 15-plus blends and recharges quickly via USB-C, which has saved us all. There's nothing worse than turning that USB thing over and over and over and over and then finally finding how it plugs in, you know?
Oh, yeah, I don't like that
USB-C
either.
saved
Yes,
us- saved us all.
USB-C saved us all.
Best of all, BlendJet 2 cleans itself. Just blend water with a drop of soap and you're good to go. There's 30-plus colors and patterns to choose from. There's a BlendJet 2 to complement just about any style. We have a pink one? Lavender.
Pink one.
I think ours is lavender.
Mine is the Toy Story Aliens.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
like the Pizza Planet one.
Ooh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got some really cool colors, but I really like the patterns. I know one of the people here got one that looks like Woody the Sheriff.
Is there a code with them?
There is a code. What are you waiting for? Go to blendjet.com and grab yours today. Glab it today.
Glibbity glob.
And when you do glab it, make sure you use the promo code
BWAAA12.
That's to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. No other portable blender on the market comes close to the quality, power, and innovation of the BlendJet 2. They guarantee you'll love it or your money back. Blend anytime, anywhere with the BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code
BWAAA12
to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever.
BlendJet 2, formerly known as BlendJet.
Hey, everyone. It's me, your puzzle-loving pal. Did you know I was a puzzle-loving pal?
I didn't know you were a puzzle-loving pal.
I got to tell you about my latest obsession. It's Wongo puzzles. These things are the real deal. They are high quality, handcrafted, and perfect for anyone who loves a good challenge but doesn't want to dedicate their entire kitchen table to puzzles for a week. Trust me, I have been there. I will tell you this, my parents, they're very old and decrepit, and they do puzzles all the damn time.
Yeah.
Like there's always a table that
What else
has
are
like
you
an
gonna do,
unfinished
right?
puzzle. Yeah, it's either that or I don't know.
Die.
feel your bones. So these puzzles, these Wongo puzzles, they are 100% wooden. They'll last forever. Each piece is hand drawn. Just think about that for a second. Each piece is hand drawn, so no two pieces are the same, and you'll discover some fun whimsy pieces as you work through it.
Whimsy.
They come in a custom wooden box, which is perfect for storage and gifting. Before we started doing this, I didn't realize how many people I know already have these Wongo puzzles. I mean, they're apparently pretty.
You can't go wherever Juan go.
With stunning designs and unique shapes, Wongo puzzles are a cut above the rest. I loved doing the snow globe puzzle myself. It was great to pull out a puzzle and be done in a night and not have it on the table for a week. So what are you waiting for? Let's go to Wongo Puzzles, WONGO puzzles.com, and pick a puzzle today. And be sure to use the promo code
BWAAA
for 10% off your order. It's the most fun you'll have with a puzzle, guaranteed, or your money back. Go to WONGO puzzles.com and use your code
BWAAA
to get 10% off your order and get puzzling right now. All right, so we are back. And we've got Connie sitting on the couch next to Hank. Hank is just feverishly flipping through the binder. He's like, oh, God, I don't want you to worry about a thing, Connie. I passed the OSHA emergency management course. All 9 years I was required to take it. He goes, are you sure about this? Yeah, are you sure about this? And Connie's like, pretty sure. He goes, oh, come on. Vaccination record, complete list of prime numbers. Don't worry about it, Connie. We're going to get through this somehow. Okay, do you have any idea how to tie a tourniquet? She says no and just starts crying and bawling. The next thing we see.
Tourniquet.
Tourniquet.
What are you going to do with a tourniquet? Yeah.
Next, on the beach, you see Con and Connie, Con and Min sitting there on the lounge chairs, and they're all beach ready. Con is flipping through his speech cards. He's going to get up and give this big, impressive speech. Yeah. Oh, man, this is the best speech ever written. JFK got nothing on me. Profiles in jealousy. Ha ha ha. So that brings us to our second little note here. I've only got a couple this time, but
What
he's talking about, profiles and jealousy,
yeah.
is he's actually referring to the JFK book from 1956, Profiles in Courage.
Was that like a biography of JFK around that time?
So it says Profiles in Courage is a 1956 volume of short biographies describing acts of bravery and integrity by 8 United States senators.
Oh, okay.
The book profiles senators who defied the opinions of their party and constitutes to do what they felt right and suffered severe criticism and losses in popularity as a result. John F. Kennedy, then a U.S. senator, so this is before he was president, won a Pulitzer Prize for the work. However, in his 2008 autobiography, Kennedy's speechwriter, Ted Sorensen, who was presumed as early as 1957 to be the book's ghostwriter, acknowledged that he did a first draft on most chapters and helped choose the words of many of its sentences.
Yeah.
So JFK won a Pulitzer, and this other guy wrote it.
Well, that's what they said. That's what they say about presidents now is that you get a high number of presidents who didn't fight or do anything like that. Because JFK was a war hero. He was actually like on a PT boat and stuff like that. He was in the middle of some sketchy stuff. He got shot at, so he'd been in active war zones.
Sure.
You don't get presidents like that no more.
No, you don't.
And I think it starts
I'm
around
not sure most
like,
of our presidents can write.
What, like Jimmy Carter around that time? I mean, I think that's around, because the last one that I remember being was Dwight D. Eisenhower. Yeah. And every president after that, except for Herbert Walker Bush, was none of them served.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't count the Air National Guard.
No, you don't count the International Guard, and you certainly don't.
Well, you count them. I'm sorry, I don't want to take away from what they do.
No, the Guard's great. Just saying, it's not the same as being in a war situation where you're being shot at.
As a politician who avoided stuff that you went a route to avoid it, because your cocaine addiction. Imagine being. That's what he said. Imagine being a fighter pilot on cocaine. Yeah. You ever think he was in the air on cocaine?
I don't want to speculate on that, but thank you.
Okay.
So he said, JFK got nothing on me, profiles and jealousy. So he's making fun of that book. Min says, you need to relax, Con. Come, we throw Frisbee. Where it land, that's where we make crazy love. He just kind of throws the Frisbee, and they run off together, and he goes, oh, yeah, I'm bad boys of systems analysis. Next thing we see is Hank, or we see their cell phones start to ring, which crazy. It was a little flip phone. It was one of those old plastic flip phones, you know. And then it goes back to Hank, and Hank is just calling and calling. Finally, he hangs up, and he calls the school. Man answers, Tom Landry Middle School. He says, I need to speak with Mrs. Peggy Hill. He goes, I'm sorry, district policy prohibits disturbing a teacher in the classroom. Hank says, Peggy is my wife, and I want her disturbed right now. The guy says, okay, I'll connect you to her voicemail. He goes, no, but and then you hear the machine pick up, and it says, the person you have reached. And then you hear Peggy's voice. This is Peggy Hill. I am so sorry I cannot take your call. Please leave a message. And then it goes back to the machine and goes, is not available. To leave a message. So all Peggy was supposed to do was say her name.
That's it.
To record this message. But instead, she's like, this is Peggy Hill. I'm so sorry I cannot take your call. Please leave a message. And then it says, is not available. I think it's a great joke.
It's a good joke. It's a very good joke.
Hank hangs up the phone, calls another number, calls Mom, and we only know that because it's on his speed dial on his handheld phone. Yeah. And she answers. She's in the kitchen. She goes, hello? He's just like, she goes, hello? He goes, and just hangs up, because he just can't talk to his mom about it. Yeah. So the next thing you see is Hank putting a blanket over Connie to shield her from the world, I guess. Yeah, and then they walk out the back sliding glass door, and he puts her in the truck. We find out that he takes her to the emergency room, and then the doctor comes out with Connie, and Hank says, is she going to be okay?
All the places, you could take somebody that's going through a change of life. Yeah. And that's, I just don't understand.
He took him to the emergency room. He doesn't know what else to do.
Well, he could have went next door and got Dale to grab Nancy.
That's true. I never thought about Nancy. Yeah. Where's Luann? Where's Nancy?
Just run out in the middle of the street and scream for a neighbor. There's enough neighbors around there that Hank's probably mowed their yard or fixed their fence.
When it comes down to it, Hank wants to fix the situation. He just doesn't know what to do about it. And plus it just makes him so damn uncomfortable.
Well,
So he's at the emergency room, and doctor says she's going to be fine. I've taken care of things for now, but here's a list of products that for Connie, which you can pick up at any pharmacy. Hank says, oh, couldn't you just give her the stuff? You are a hospital. She goes, no, you have to go and buy them. He goes, I mean, let's say I got stitches. You might send me home with a box of Band-Aids if I ask for them, right? And the doctor says, Band-Aids aren't going to work in this situation. Please don't try Band-Aids.
Don't try Band-Aids. Woo!
She's not sure that he won't.
Isn't that what a pad is? Just like a giant Band-Aid?
Well, I again, don't want to comment on that.
Okay.
So now we're at the Megalomart, and they are, Connie and Hank are going through, and they're picking up feminine hygiene products and stuff. And Hank says, aisle 8A, boy, we sure are a long way from automotive. And then we see the sign hanging in the aisle. It says aisle 8A, feminine hygiene. He asks Connie, you got your list? She goes, yes. Just because I started my period doesn't mean I can't hold on to a piece of paper. I mean, she is still not feeling great.
Nah, she's not.
So she pushes the basket down the aisle, and Hank says, okay, then I'll just wait right here for you. And then he kind of starts muttering because she's taking a while. She's going through the aisle, and Connie is looking from side to side to side, and here are the things that are on the aisle. There's the Megalo Maxi, which has a cartoon picture of a bird.
Okay.
We have the Megalo Free.
The birds and the bees. I guess she's the bird.
We have Megalo Free, which has a big flower on it. Then we have Megalo Mini, which has a butterfly and the words Mega Fresh Scent.
Okay, so it's the mini pads with fresh scent.
Right. And then the last one is Fresh Spirit, which has waves and the sun on it, you know, that not so fresh feeling. Yeah. Hank is kind of muttering to himself. He's like, oh, come on, Connie, pick something, anything. Don't make me come down there. I mean, the last thing he wants to do is come down that damn aisle. She sees all this stuff, and she just starts crying, and he's like, oh, no, hold on, Connie. And so he comes there next to her, and she goes, this really sucks, Mr. Hill. My mom taught me nothing. $6.95 for one stupid box. Oh, I only have $5. Can I borrow two stupid dollars? I mean, she is just, she is fit to be tied, man. And Hank says, it's okay, Connie. It's on me. We'll get you all set up here. And then they pass one of those stand-ups of Chuck Mangione, and he's got a big speech bubble that says, freedom feels so good. He looks at it and just goes, oh, Chuck.
You know, I went on a rabbit hole the other day because
in
of Chuck Mangione. It's his fault that I did it. I started looking up odd instruments and instrumentalists in that odd instrument. So I got on this rabbit hole of oboe jazz, like jazz oboe. And I found this album called Homage to John Coltrane, where I can't remember the guy's name. David something or another is his name.
Sanborn?
No, something else. He's an oboist.
Okay.
But he does the whole John Coltrane, like classic hits of John Coltrane on the oboe.
Yeah.
Does it all on the oboe.
On the oboe.
Yeah, he's an oboe.
Sounds wonderful.
Great.
Love some oboe.
Classical.
Now we're back at Hank's house. Connie says, you know, Mr. Hill, maybe this isn't such a big deal after all. He goes, nope, not such a big deal. In fact, it's such a little deal, we won't ever have to talk about it again. He's in there just reading the paper. She is looking through her box of tampons she just got, and she goes, now, how do I change one of these? And Hank just like, oh. He looks up, and he's just very shocked.
Yeah.
The next thing we see, which... This is nuts. There's two police officers leading Peggy out of the school. It's almost like she's handcuffed or something, but they're like
being summoned.
Well, yeah, it's like her house is blown up or something's happened. You know, somebody's died.
Subpoenaed?
I don't know.
Has she been sequestered or what is it when they?
But she gets let out and she gets in the car and just tears ass home. I mean, she is. Bill,
well, that's the thing is she's tearing ass home because she knows exactly, like in her mind, she's like
somebody's dead, something's happened.
Well, she if she knows what's going on, she knows that Hank's been dealing with whatever it is, and she's ready to.
She doesn't know what's going on. No, she just thinks maybe somebody got hit by a friggin' trash truck or something.
Bad stuff.
So she's let out by the cops. She's racing home. She comes in so fast that she hits the trash can. Bill, Dill, and Boomhauer are out in the thing. Oh, excuse me. They're out in the alley. He goes, oh, incoming. She comes in. She hits the trash can. Bill says, oh, I can't look. And then Dale looks at the poor trash can on its side, all dented in. He goes, she never even got to see her first trash day. And then the dent in the can pops out, and he goes, ha-ha, big bad can. I mean, he's such an idiot.
He's a weirdo.
So now we're in the garage.
He needs his own show.
Yes, no kidding.
Just like the
live action.
Yeah, well, whether they do it live action,
Johnny Hardwick.
Yeah, that'd be funny. I think live action would be good, but I think also if they made like an animated show where it was just Dale.
Yeah.
Just Dale's like daily life, you know what I mean? Dale.
I don't know.
driving to
Dale
go
might be
do
one of those
drugs.
characters that you can get too much of, though. You know, maybe you need him in small doses.
Yeah, maybe.
So now we're in
That's why you do like 7-minute shorts.
That's true.
I think that's what they should do. I think that would be a great episode.
That would be cool. Like do those little shorts on Adult Swim or whatever.
Yeah, on every
Just
for every
Dale?
character though, not just Dale, but each
Yeah.
of the 4 guys, just the 4 guys, because you can't go too deep.
Boomhauer one could just be silent the whole time.
It would just be like
it's just
it would
him
be
doing
like
stuff.
Quagmire.
Just doing
It would
stuff.
just be him going giggity goo at home.
So we're in the garage. Peggy comes tearing ass in. She goes, "Where's Bobby?" And Hank says, "Oh, it's Connie." She goes, "Hank, what is it?" He goes, "You know, the special time in girls' lives and freshness and all that." She goes, "Oh, my Lord, poor Connie." He goes, "Poor Connie, poor me. I had to learn about mega absorbency." She says, "You went down aisle 8? We have been married for 20 years, and I can't get you past aisle 5.
I like that right there where he says, "I wasn't joyriding,
I wasn't
Peggy."
joyriding. It was a medical emergency." She goes, "Well, why didn't you call me sooner?" He says, "I tried to call you. I tried calling Min and Con. I even hung up on my own mother, and she's such a nice woman." Okay. Peggy says, "Well, Hank, you did your best, but I'm in charge now. You keep trying Min and Con. I'll talk to Connie, and then I'll talk to Bobby." He says, "I don't think Bobby should know about this. It's bad enough that I know about this." She says, "Do you want to be in charge, Hank?" He says, "No." And he's just like, "No." So Bobby pulls up on a bike. You see Peggy outside on the back porch on the outside furniture, the lawn furniture. And Bobby says, "Uh-oh, last time you were waiting for me, I learned about goldfish heaven," which I thought that's a great job. That's a great
good
joke.
Yeah.
She goes, "Come on, Bobby, let's go to Whataburger." And they both get in the car. He goes, "All right." Oh, God, where's Lady Bird? Like he knows if you're going to Whataburger, it's serious.
Something's happening.
So now we're at the Systems Expo in Maui, and we can tell that because there's a giant banner behind everybody on stage. The guy at the microphone says, "I now pass the torch to my good friend Con Susanusenphone." You hear the applause and all that. Cell phone rings. Min picks it up in the audience trying to be quiet. She goes, "Hello? Oh, Hank Hill. What do you want? Hank is at the Con is at the podium." "Oh!" So obviously he called and finally got a hold of him and told her. Con is up there giving his speech. As he gets up to give his speech, he looks at the first card, and the card literally just says, "You are super cool." Like to pump him up, you know. And so he starts making his speech. He goes, "Gentlemen and ladies of system analysis, what really brings us together here? Systems or the sunshine?" Terrible joke, Con.
Terrible.
He says, "I think we do best to remember the words of Maya Angelou." And he gets a note passed to him by somebody on the stage. And he goes, "I think we do best to remember the words of Maya Angelou," looks at the note and goes, "Ah!" And then they both just go running off. We're back at the Whataburger. And it's weird because they are sitting outside at the Whataburger eating. Remember when they used to have those outside tables and stuff in front of the Whataburger? No. It was almost like a Sonic. Like, you know how Sonic has those few tables right there in between? It was like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But that's when Whataburgers also were all like pyramid shaped. Yeah, A-frame. So Peggy's talking to Bobby. Bobby's eating his meal there. She goes, "Bobby, you're at an age now when, well, things are starting to change. And while some things are better learned through guessing or certain educational films, some things are better learned from your parents." Yeah. Bobby says, "Mom, why don't you gather your thoughts while I get another order of onion rings?" And Peggy just like blurts it out.
Connie started
her period. He says, "What's that now?" She goes, "She's taking her first steps to becoming a woman." He says, "She can't be a woman. I'm still a kid. Look at me. I even got the kids' meal. I love this toy." She goes, "Oh, Bobby, honey, you will catch up eventually.
Yeah,
this year,
for sure.
Yeah, this year, next year, it does not matter because you will always be mommy's little man." And then she just like pinches his cheeks.
That's not good look.
Yikes! No, Bobby can't like that.
But he's the last one to. He's the only one that don't really like come out of that bloom or blossom.
That's
really,
true.
like you got.
Which really makes me think about this reboot.
Yeah.
You know, the continuation of this story.
Because you got Joseph. Well, that's the thing is how I'm gonna like to see how Adlon does his voice aged up.
Yeah.
If it gets lower, if it gets, I wonder if she's gonna have to do Bobby lower.
I saw her. She was on some show. doing the voices and stuff. She came out and did the whole show as Bobby.
Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, I think maybe you told me about that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Next thing we see on the couch next to Connie, we've got Bobby and Peggy and all that. He goes, or Bobby is sitting next to Connie on the couch in the living room, and she goes, "So, Connie, you want to go jump off the bike ramp?" She said, "No." "Play soccer?" "No." "Go swimming at the rec center?" She goes, "You know what I want to do, Bobby? Sit here." And then Bobby kind of gets pissed off. He's like, "Fine, you sit on that couch. I'm young, and I'm alive, and I'm going to go outside and enjoy life." And then the next thing you see is Bobby goes into his room, and he throws away those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle
That's
PJs.
it. Yeah, he's done. He's trying to grow up.
But
you know what? I'm going to tell everybody here, keep the Ninja Turtle PJs.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because the women, once you get to about 30, the women love Ninja Turtle PJs.
So the next thing we see is he goes in his room, he throws away the TMNT PJs, but he does see the mommy's little man PJs, and he picks them up and he just kind of rubs them against his cheek, he doesn't want to grow up. It's his last little part of not having to grow up.
It's almost like weaning a baby off of the teat, you know what I mean? He's like weaning a kid off of his comfort item.
Off his PJs.
It's tough. It's like when your kid finally lets go of that stuffed animal for the last time, it's that kind of feeling. And as a parent, that feeling
sucks.
Yeah, that's a rough
sucks.
one.
Well, that is our second commercial break, and we will take one, and we will be right back.
After crying.
Hey, Rusty, did you know that you could be putting oil and chemicals in your coffee?
No, I didn't know that.
I mean, I love coffee creamer, but I don't think I've ever turned a bottle around to actually see what's inside. Recently I did, and I found out many of my favorite creamers, like especially the one my wife used to use, they contain ingredients I would never intentionally add to my coffee cup, like canola oil, potassium phosphate, whatever that is.
Terrible.
Artificial flavors. I can't take artificial flavors a lot of the time.
Yeah, I'm good on any flavoring.
They taste gross.
I don't like flavors in my coffee. I like the earth and flavor of coffee.
I mean, I love coffee. Don't get me wrong. I do love it. I just I don't like all that crap in my coffee, right?
Yeah, no, who does that?
So let me tell you about Laird Superfoods then. They have better ingredients, amazing taste, and functional benefits. Laird Superfood Creamers are crafted from the highest quality, all-natural, real food ingredients. All Laird products are sustainably sourced and thoroughly tested to ensure that you're incorporating the cleanest, finest fuel into your routine. Now, they're all natural. They've got whole food ingredients. They contain naturally occurring MCTs from coconut oil, and everybody tells you coconut oil is good for you. Mm-hmm. There's no artificial flavors, no colors, no additives, no sugar from highly refined corn syrup. So that's a big deal right there. If you take one thing you do every day and make it better, Laird developed his creamer himself to stay powered for a day on the waves. He was a big wave surfer, Laird Hamilton was, and he needed a morning fuel that could allow him to spend the entire day chasing the ultimate wave. So he made this creamer, and it is it's crazy, crazy good. Laird sources high-quality plant-based ingredients globally and puts an emphasis on U.S. sources whenever possible. They aim to source responsibly and sustainably and believe that the foods you consume should be as good for the earth as they are for you. They have honest and transparent products and labels. If you try it, you won't go back. They have functional superfood creamers, instant lattes, and prebiotic greens. They have a variety of snacks and supplements full of wholesome plant-based ingredients to keep you charged for wherever life takes you. So to get a deal on Laird Superfoods, I need you to go to zen.ai, BWAAA, King of the Hill. So that's zen.ai/BWAAA, King of the Hill. And your offer code there is BWAAA. So Laird Superfoods makes a better creamer that keeps you powered all day, and it's better for you, the earth, and your coffee. What do you say, Rusty? You want to go get some coffee?
Coffee.
Hey, Rusty?
Yeah.
Did you know that dehydration is the leading cause of daytime fatigue?
Oh, no.
I don't know about you, but like 2:30, 3 o'clock, I just hit a wall almost every day. I was shocked to learn that even mild dehydration can cause headaches, muscle weakness, brain fog, but luckily there's a cure.
Oh, there is?
Actually, I should have said there's a solution. It's called Cure. Cure Hydration.
The Cure Hydration is an oral rehydration solution, or ORS, that contains the perfect balance of electrolytes. We know how important that is because plants crave it.
Super important.
And glucose to help your body absorb water and rehydrate quickly. The formula is made with all natural ingredients like coconut water, powder, and pink Himalayan salt. Whoopee. And it is free from artificial flavors, sweeteners, and preservatives. Cure Hydration is vegan, gluten-free, and non-GMO. That makes it a great option for anyone with dietary restrictions and preferences. The packets that they give you, they're convenient. They're easy to use. You just mix them with water and drink. They're perfect for on-the-go, travel, or anytime you need quick hydration. Hydration is more than just drinking water, Rusty. It is, that's what Lauren Picasso, a lifelong endurance athlete, discovered as she struggled to stay hydrated no matter how much water she drank. I've known people like that. My wife drinks so much water, it's crazy. Lauren found Cure, a science-backed electrolyte drink mix to make hydration easy for everyone. Cure believes that hydration should be simple and effective, but also clean and natural. That's why they only use the highest ingredients and quality plant-based stuff to avoid any artificial or harmful additives. They're committed to transparency and honesty. All of their ingredients are clearly listed on their website and packaging, and they're always happy to answer any questions or concerns. So are you ready to combat dehydration?
Absolutely.
You can try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use your code
BWAAA. Sorry, I blanked.
You're good. For 20% off your order. Try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use our special code
BWAAA
for 20% off your order. Your coupon will be activated at checkout. Try Cure Hydration. Stop drying out.
All right, and we are back. We have reached the point in the show where Bobby has come to grips with it, kind of.
Kind of. You know, he's the late bloomer.
Yeah.
You know, that's just Bobby's mentality. He's just a slow guy.
And like they say here in a minute, I mean, everybody's just confused. You know, they don't know what to do.
And that doesn't change.
No,
I'm 30-some years old. I'm still confused. What the hell's going on? I don't
exactly
know.
Right.
Yeah.
So
we're in the Matrix.
Joseph is on his bike.
Sims. They're going to pick me up, put me in the pool, and take away the ladder at any minute.
Joseph is on his bike in the front yard. Bobby's like sitting on the curb, and he's just kind of sulking. Joseph says, "Word is Connie's aunt's Flo's in town." Man, I always hated that. I don't like that phrase
I don't really
at all.
like that phrase either. It's
No.
we can't really say Aunt Flo anymore because Aunt Flo is the progressive chick, right? Isn't
That's
that
right. Yeah,
isn't
it is
the
Flo.
progressive commercial? Isn't her name Flo?
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't do that to her.
Bobby says, "Yeah, probably because she started her period. She's got the curse, and I think it cut." So, number one, the joke is he's saying that her Aunt Flo is in town, and then Bobby responds with, "Yeah, probably because she got her period." So he literally thinks there is an Aunt Flo that has come to town to help support her. You know?
There's definitely an Aunt Flo. She's in town. She's helping out.
He goes,
This one kind of makes me laugh too. All my hormones being close to her hormones.
Yeah, he says she got the curse. I think I caused it. All my hormones being too close to hers.
He's an apple or something, and she's a banana, and you put them both together, and the apple spoils.
He's so goofy.
And the banana starts to turn. Yeah.
Joseph says, "It's all over, Bobby. I heard that when girls get the curse, they only go out They only go out with hairy high school guys with cars." Bobby says, "I got peach fuzz and a bike." Like that's something, you know.
Hey, you know what? He's got more than most.
That's true. That's true. He's got that bike. Cab pulls up in front of Hank's house. Hank is outside watering his grass. And Con and Min get out.
This one's I love this right here too.
Con says, "Where's my daughter? I want to wake her up from this chicken fried nightmare." Connie comes running out and hugs him. And he goes, "Mom, Dad," and Con he doesn't know what the hell to do either. He goes,
he ain't got a clue,
he goes, "It is very nice to see you again, Con Jr." Go with your mother. Yes. they just walk
Well, I
off.
imagine culturally too. There's probably
Sure.
There's probably different cultural things too that go around how
absolutely.
Laotians handle coming to life.
Well, first you got dads. How do they handle it? Men
Yeah.
in general, we don't know what the hell to do.
Well, in a lot of societies like that, men don't handle it, and it's funny them being in Hawaii too. Because I don't know. Here's some fun facts for y'all that I just happen to know about Hawaii. Hawaiian culture, the women are actually, it's a matriarchal society, and women during their period they go off to like spa type environment where they're allowed to be away from men, and the men take care of the kids while the women spend a week.
Good for
in
them.
Relaxing.
Yeah, I got you.
like a spa,
Trying
type
to make
deal.
themselves comfortable.
Meditation type thing, like
Sure.
a mindfulness, spiritual body type thing, like take care of yourself.
So she goes off with her mother, Min, and Hank says, you can thank me for taking care of this, Con. It wasn't exactly easy. Con says, thank you. You lucky I don't sue you. He says, luck has nothing to do with it. You got no cause. And then they both take off. But Hank is still standing there, and now he's watering his tree for like a big old tree. He's just watering the trunk of the tree.
He's being nosy.
I guess you got to do that.
He's probably pissed. He's probably mad. Like Hank, how does Hank relieve his anger other than lawn work?
Oh.
What if he's watered everything in the yard? He's like, well, the tree could use some.
Well, there's one more thing here in a minute.
As hot as it is in Texas right now, you need to water every damn thing in your yard.
True.
Your curb might need some water before it crumbles.
In the B story, we've got all three of the guys out in the alley, and they're drinking beer. Dale says, there's still time, hurry. And we see the Arlen sanitation truck come around the corner.
Yeah.
He goes, she's got room for 3 more. And then you see the guys, they throw their cans in there real quick. And the sanitation truck pulls up, and it's got one of those arms, that picks up the whole can, dumps it, and puts it back down.
Yeah, that's cool that they had them back then. I didn't know that because when I was a kid,
we didn't get them
up,
here then.
No. We didn't have them. So
yeah.
this is in the 90s. This particular episode is at the late 90s. I think we're almost in the 2000s at this point because we got the Y2K episode coming up soon. So the trash can thing, I remember they used to have the trash men hanging out the back of it, grabbing the trash.
Yeah, sure.
Up until maybe like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it hadn't been very long,
very long
honestly,
at all.
since we got them here. And
if you're in the right area, though, I remember back in the day, teachers would tell you, "Oh, you don't want to be a trash man." But if you were in certain areas that were unionized, you were making more money than a teacher.
You made real good
hauling
money.
trash. Yeah, it's crazy.
But
that just shows you how underpaid teachers are.
The trash truck picks up the trash can, it dumps it, and then it lets go, and it puts the damn can in the trash truck. I mean, I've seen that before, because the thing just doesn't let loose in time. And they're all just, because the can's taken. And Boomhauer runs after the trash truck. He's like, hey, man, dang old, what are you doing, old trash man? I'll take it up, about to call 911, man. And then Bill, he just gets all sad, of course, because everything's about Bill. He goes, everything I love is taken from me. Dale says, what are you talking about? She was my can. Next thing we see is the TV playing a documentary on whales.
Yeah. The mother sings a gentle song welcoming her calf to a watery new world.
Con comes in. She goes, Con he starts to come into the room. He's got a sandwich and some milk for her because that's really the only way he knows to comfort her. Connie is over there just hugging a pillow real hard and kind of rocking back and forth. Con comes in and goes, oh, man, she doing it again. Help me. Make her stop.
Yeah.
Min says, I'm on it. She comes over and sits on the couch next to Connie, and this is kind of sweet. She goes, Mom, I was really mean to Bobby, and I don't know why. She goes, he's a little annoying boy. She goes, Mom, he goes, Con Jr., you have PMS. It's hard, but very easy to understand. You just yell and yell and yell, or you just cry and cry. She says, but it feels like I'm doing both of those at the same time. She says, Connie, you feel things more now. Make sad movie truly excellent.
I love that perspective from her. Yeah, that's funny.
It's really pretty positive, honestly.
Truly excellent. Yeah.
She goes, you watch Titanic on the right day, it blow you away.
Or you could watch Thumbtanic. Have you ever heard of the
Yes, I have heard of Thumbtanic. Yeah. She says, and you get intuition. She goes, and I get to have babies. She goes, whoa, slow down, Con Jr. I tell you now what my mother told me. And she says something in Laotian. She goes, Bobby Hill, and keeps talking in Laotian. Yeah. She goes, Mom, you don't know Bobby. He's not like all the other boys. She says, all men are the same, but now you are different. You must act different like an adult, except at movie theater where you child and your father and I are students, because she wants to get in cheap.
Yeah,
that's all that's about.
They say all three students.
That's right. We're students and you're child.
I held on to my college ID for so long after I left MCC.
I kept my my state ID. You know, I used to teach for a state college.
Yeah.
I still have it in my wallet because I used to get cheaper rates at a hotel. You know?
Heck yeah, you got to get what you can get.
Hank and Bobby are in the garage. This is the one I'm talking about. So they're both sitting at the workbench. Hank has a wooden ruler and he's measuring screws one at a time and putting them in the right cans.
Yeah.
He's measuring these damn screws. And so Bobby just kind of, he's put out. He's sulking a little bit. And so Hank says, Dr. Hurtig says your teeth are looking good. That a boy.
That a boy.
He has nothing to talk to him about. His dad, I think Connie's going to break up with me because she hates me. He says, she doesn't hate you. He goes, yes, she does. She's no longer the girl who fell in love with me. Now she's just a woman who yells at me. Hank says, Bobby, every woman has a period of time every month. He goes, every month? Or he goes, even mom?
Even mom?
He goes, Bobby, if I were going to get through this and you cannot ask me questions like that. He goes, oh, my bad. He said, now every month a woman has this time when she gets very angry at everything, and usually men are the everything. He goes, it's like a tire fire. What great analogy here, Hank. It's like a tire fire. Trying to put it out only makes it worse. You just got to let it burn. Grab a beer and let it burn.
Let it burn.
Now we see Hank a little bit later in the evening. He's knocking on Con's door. He's got Connie's little suitcase, and he goes, Con comes to the door, and he goes, Hank Hill, you ruined my life. What can I do for you? He says, Connie left some things at my house. I thought she might want them back. Connie comes running up, and now she's in a great mood. She's like, hey, Mr. Hill, thanks for letting me stay with you. Sorry it was so boring. And they both just kind of share a chuckle.
Yeah.
She runs off. He's just like, yep. Con says, what the hell was that? She didn't cry at you. All she ever does is cry at me. It's not fair. I make more money than you. He's getting sad. Hank says, I think it's been a long day for all of us. Tomorrow will be easier. For me, anyway. Con says, sure, everything easy for you. You world's best father. I seen the mug. Me, I'm nothing. I want mug too, Hank Hill. I mean, he's really sad about
really,
this,
really sad,
Yeah. Hank says, well, I just so happen to have a book here that might help you out with that. And he's talking about that big binder that they left for
Yeah, their big binder.
He goes, and I add an extra chapter at the beginning. And Con's flipping through it. He goes, aisle 8A. What is aisle 8A? Hank says, it's the one next to the deodorants and the ointments. And Con immediately knows what that is. And he's just like, oh. And Hank just pats him on the back and goes, yeah, I know. All right, so for the last scene, we see Connie in the garage. She's playing the violin, just trying to pass the time. Bobby,
this interchange, right? This exchange
very
between
good.
the two is
It's
great.
very
It's
good.
a really good writing on it for sure.
Bobby comes walking up out of the dark, and the funny thing about Bobby, to show that he's still a little kid, he just got a stick that he found somewhere, and he's just kind of whipping the stick around.
Just being
he's
a little
using
kid.
it. Well, he's a little kid. He's also using it as like nervous energy kind of thing.
Yeah. Like a fidget stick. Or whatever.
He walks up to her and goes, "Is this a bad time?" She says, "My mom says we shouldn't be alone together
That'd
anymore."
Be a good name on a shirt.
What?
Fidget stick.
Fidget stick.
Yeah. Or a name for a band.
She says, my mom says we shouldn't be alone together anymore and that you only want one thing. He goes, did she say what that was? Because I'm so confused.
Yeah, I love that. That's funny.
She goes, me too. This sucks. He goes, so you're a woman now.
Technically.
Technically, I think I'm only a woman 4 days a month. He goes, only 4 days? Well, that's for most people, but you're super organized. I bet you can get through it in 2 days. She goes, I don't think that's how it works. He goes, if I was becoming a man, I wouldn't dump you. And Connie's like, I don't want to dump you, Bobby. I still want to be your girlfriend. But for those 4 days when I'm a woman, I don't want to be anywhere near you. He goes, deal. I'll see you in 2 days. And he just walks off. And it becomes that simple for them.
Well, that's how simple it is when you're in middle school.
It really is. It really is.
It's not that simple in real life.
And that's our credits, man. We are done. And then after the credits, of course, we hear Peggy say, do you want to be in charge, Hank? He goes, no.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the end of the episode, man. We got through season 4, episode 5, aisle 8A. It's a good episode. It's very touching. I really like the way that the characters are handled in this, and like I say, it could have been a lot worse. It was done in a really, really good way that made you feel good at the end.
I think so.
There. They're still kids, no matter what happened.
Good moral lesson in there. And if you didn't know what a period was, you surely do by the end of that episode.
Well, it's a period of time.
Period.
As Hank says.
Time. Yeah. Or, what do you say? The freshness.
You
the
get to learn about the freshness.
I don't know why you call it freshness when it's like it's not very fresh.
The freshness feels so good. Says Mangione. Okay, so you want to tell them where they can find more of this?
You can find more of this at bwaakoth.com. Or roguemedianetwork.com. You can find a slew of other podcasts.
Got a lot.
You can also see me on another podcast called Animation Conversation. You
Yes,
can find us
sir.
on YouTube. You can go anywhere to watch us or listen to us rather. But if you want to watch us, you can go to youtube.com/@Animation Conversation.
Yeah, it's with F, who
John Fountain F
worked on a lot of big cartoons.
Yeah, he worked on a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, a lot of
some
animated
Nickelodeon,
stuff.
some Disney, some other stuff. And
It's a good show too. You've had some good interviews. You've had it's
some more
really
coming
good.
up.
It's really good.
Our next interview, which will come out when this episode is being aired, I'll probably be in the middle of interviewing that person.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep an eye out for that. YouTube every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central.
And like I said, next month, the month of July, in the year of our Lord 2023, we will start the Patreon. Probably the video episodes will go up on that. All of my notes and stuff like that. I'm going to scan as many of those in as I can, start providing those to you guys. And we'll do some extra stuff. Throw some little things up there. Maybe if we find some cartoons or some stuff to link to or whatever, we'll do that. I just see us being able to do some really cool stuff in the Patreon that we can't do in the regular feeds.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. Well, join us again next time. We will have season 4, episode 6.
You know what I think we should do?
What's up?
We should do a mashed potato eating competition between me and you. For
I think
the
it sounds great.
Patreon. We need to get like a salad bowl.
Until they come out of our nose.
But I want like homemade. I don't want to just have to buy them from somebody.
I don't know, man. If you're doing a competition, you don't necessarily want chunks.
No, we're not chunks, but just homemade. Like, it doesn't have to be chunky, but it has to be homemade. I
Yeah.
don't want to eat like like a whole
I like
salad
those
bowl
powdered
full
ones.
of bushes. Oh, powdered
I like
ones?
the powdered ones you buy in the,
No,
in the little bags.
We're gonna have to employ somebody to peel some potatoes.
All right, guys.
Mason, where you at?
Get with us again
Potatoes.
next time, and we'll see you then.
Women Tanya.
We Matanya indeed. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.